Hello everyone, this is your buddy and your pal, Aewch, here with some Fite Talk. Amazingly enough, UFC 249, May 9th is the day. We live in such interesting times, so hopefully we get this. Now, there's going to be really interesting in more than one way, for sure. Not even counting the fight part. So, and that's the thing. With everything they had to do, this card is on fire. All things considered. But the only fight I keep thinking of as a weird parallel to it, Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas. This was prime Mike Tyson, absolutely destroying the heavyweight division, going up against basically the biggest surprise underdog anyone had ever seen in Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas somehow amazingly taking out Mike Tyson for the World Heavyweight Championship. Except that fight was in Japan, of all places. If you've never seen a Japanese crowd for big sporting events, things like this, it's different. Like, they are respectful, they are analyzing themselves, they are watching, they are judging. It is basically silence the entire time. So, like, could you imagine Mike Tyson in his prime being beat by Buster Douglas, like, at Madison Square Garden? Like, one guy would be thanking Buster Douglas for making him a lot of money, and then about 800 more would be trying to kill him the entire time for the money he just lost them. So what does this fight have to do with what's going on now? Well, with UFC 249 being held in Florida, it's allowed, they're essential. We also have some crowd capacity thanks to WWE and rules set by that. So there might be some crowd. But are they going to get their pomp and circumstance for these fights? You have two world title fights. We have Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, and we have Henry Cejudo and Dominic Cruz. Yes, they can win, but are they really gonna get a credit that they deserve other than the belt? It is a weird little thing. Like, Buster Douglas, like, again, Douglas beating Tyson would have been huge in America, but no one really remembers it or puts as much emphasis on it as that because it was just in Japan at the time. So when it comes to Saturday, anything can happen in a week. Might as well watch and see. So, looking at the card, of course, you have to talk Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, interim light heavyweight title. The title that is now cursed, apparently. Khabib leaving the country, now stuck in Russia, and probably staying there through Ramadan, so he's probably out until September, maybe. Justin Gaethje putting himself in the position of, no, I'm here, let's do this. Now, the thing that makes me worry, Justin Gaethje takes some shots. It's where that thing of being tough is more of a detriment than a skill. Because basically, Gaethje tries to brawl, and that's when he gets open up. His opponents also open up. They get caught. It's just kind of a matter of luck with that. In theory, maybe if you're just really, really technical, you can just pick them apart. But again, certain times toughness is okay. Like, in Gaethje's fight with Dustin Poirier, he would have won if it was a 3-round fight. But because he was taking Poirier out with leg kicks the entire time. But because it was a 5-rounder, Poirier survives, made it to the 4th round, and the accumulation of damage done to Gaethje just builds up over time. And especially if you got a guy like Tony Ferguson, who's just crazy basically, it can use anything. He might elbow him, take him down, maybe submissions, who knows, but it's gonna be weird. And the thing with Ferguson is, can he even make it there? He's got a week. He's probably doing some weird training stuff. Who knows? Like, there's a video of him, like, kicking, like, basketball hoop posts. He's, like, elbowing a steel pole, trying to make it better. What? What doctor recommended these things to you? Like, that's going to be an interesting fight even before it even makes it to the cage. Just with luck, everyone can make it there okay. Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz. Talk about under the radar. I mean, Cejudo is trying to be a character, a draw, whatever you want to call it. It's just coming off weird more than anything. I mean, all credit where credit is due. He's super talented. If he beats Demetrius Johnson, who might be the greatest of all time, I'll put him in that category for sure. But 2 weight classes and a gold medal in wrestling, there is something there. I don't know if it's charisma or not. And then Dominic Cruz just sliding into a title shot. It's going to be like either an amazing Phoenix story for Cruz coming back after all this. Because, I mean, how many times have his legs just been destroyed, pulled apart like they were in a processing plant? Like, you almost worry that his legs are just going to rip in the middle of a fight. And going against a wrestler like Cejudo, it's going to be a test on those legs for sure, even if he's been injured or this long again. Who knows, Dominic Cruz is actually pretty quiet of all things, so. Francis Ngannou versus Jay Rosenstruck. Interesting to say the least. You know, Ngannou has been regaining all of his cred back from the fans. Basically because he is destroying people with one punch. And sometimes they're not even punches. You just get hit, and sometimes with bad luck, sometimes just Cain Velasquez ripped his knee off. So sometimes it's a little bit of luck, but for all the cases where those punches land, it's over. I mean, he has taken out Alistair Overeem, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos. In theory, does he stand a chance against Stipe Miocic? Hell yes, he does. Because he's basically cleaning out the entire heavyweight division with 2 punches. Now, to credit where credit is due, Rosenstruck is kind of getting there again. And he was trying to put himself into more limelight, with both of them thinking they either have Stipe, well, pretty much they're going to guaranteed have Stipe no matter what. Even if Stipe loses against DC, the next title shot would be Stipe, just because, to recrown it, if Daniel is retiring. But with these two, it's going to be one shot no matter what. Now, they keep using that in, like, advertising, and it never works out like that way, so I should probably be careful when I use those terms. Now, in the prelims, I see a lot of interesting fights. The heavyweights are getting a bunch, with Fabricio Verdun coming back. But 2 of them is jumping out to me. Uriah Hall versus Jacare. Talk about, this is one of those old-fashioned striker versus grappler. Like, Jacare, not a huge striker, but if he grabs you, that's why they call him the crocodile. You are in trouble at that. Now, Uriah Hall is a good striker with the nastiest spinning back kick in history from his tough fight. But has he really lived up to that? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's never been flashy. It's been decisions at best, I think. But if he can get past this jiu-jitsu master in Souza, it should be a big bump for him. And the other one, I'm not sure why is happening. Anthony Pettis versus Cowboy Cerrone 2. Now, it's interesting. This fight has happened already, and Pettis took it out pretty easily with body kicks. Cerrone is pretty susceptible to these body kicks from the left side. It's just basically when a righty and lefty hit each other, their openings, weaknesses are basically in the way of their opponent's strength. So if you're lefty, a body kick works great against a righty because the opening is right there, which is what happened to Donald Cerrone. Now, does he learn, or does history repeat itself? It's going to be interesting. Cerrone's tough without a doubt, but he can't go in and just do the same, or else Pettis is going to do the same thing and win again. So that fight, plus, it's one of those things, clearly both men are doing the company a favor. Like, it's just, this card can't be canceled. Are you guys cool to fight in the middle of this? And they said yes, I guess. So, interesting enough, they get paired up again. So, no matter what happens, UFC 249 gonna be pretty interesting.